All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Unofficial podcast. I nearly said the Breezy's Unofficial podcast, the Breezy. Yeah, it's been a dope week. I got a new car. Amazing. The green machine. I don't know if I'll be bothered to put a picture up on screen, but it's a green Holden Commodore manual, pretty much exactly what I wanted. Honestly, I didn't know if I wanted green, but the car I was driving really was dying, and I didn't have much choice but to, make a decision. And with that decision, I decided green is now my favorite color. You know what I mean? I'm in a green studio. I'm in a green room, Flow State Studio. Like, the brand colors are green, the car's green, green lights are green, and I'm all about go. You know what I mean? The levels on an audio level thing, the one in Premiere as I'm recording now, is green. There was one other thing that's green that I really like. Anyway, I decided green is now my favorite color. It used to be red, but now it's green. Sometimes if your life isn't going according to your preferences, just try changing your preferences. You know what I mean? That is a recipe for happiness. There we go. We're 2 minutes into the podcast and I've just cured everyone's mental illness. How crazy is that? No. Anyway. That's the other thing. So how do I break this down? Hopefully this comes out after all of this has been decided. If not, I might have to postpone this or cut this out. I don't know. But where I'm working now it's great. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to have the job. It's afforded me this space. Oh my God, this fly is I'm going to punch it out of the sky. Anyway, it's afforded me this space. Like, I can come here and record. It's very low commitment. I can write at the same time as I'm working. I can, talk to ChatGPT. I can figure stuff out. I can work while I'm working. You know what I mean? But it's minimum wage. I don't earn a lot of money. With that being said, I got a raise this week, which is incredible timing, as I'm about to, explain why. It equates to $65 a week extra after tax, which is it's not amazing, but it's something every week. Pays for lunch, you know what I mean? Pays for car insurance. Now that, I've got a car that's worth comprehensively insuring. And I was talking to him about my boss at my current job. The fact that, I've got a lot of skills in social media, and the business, its Instagram page isn't active at all. And I feel like I could really, I could contribute in ways that could be really beneficial to the business that we're just not leveraging at all. And I feel like that's a large reason why, number one, I'm not paid that much. Like, I'm doing a job that anyone could do, so I'm not going to get paid much. That makes sense. But that was also why I was potentially, I'm going to an interview on Friday, going to try switch a pace. I'm going to try sales. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect. It's very promising, but the office is in North Sydney, which is in the opposite direction of the studio. The studio is in DY, which means I definitely won't get as much time at the studio during the week, which isn't ideal. But much higher earning capacity in terms of weekly salary, because it's a sales job and, you get commission. It probably won't be anything crazy for the first 6 months compared to what I'm earning now. But, the potential is there, which is exciting. But it also means potentially that, when I'm at work and I have to fully dedicate myself to that work. But on the flip side of that, again, sales is a really important skill for running a business. And the better you are at sales, the better you are at making money. And if I dedicate 6 months to becoming decent at sales, there's not much you can become good at 6 months. But if I'm doing it 8 hours a day, every day, and I'm incentivized by earning commission every time I get a sale or whatever, it's potentially like I'll be able to become competent enough to maybe even, I'll definitely be able to leverage that into, running the studio as a business. So there's a lot of things going on in my mind right now, a lot of things to weigh up. I'm not really sure. Like, there's also that part of me that's inside everyone that just doesn't resist change. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty comfortable where I am. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And as I'm saying that highlights another problem. So many people just get comfortable and get complacent. And generally, if it's not the best and it's not the worst and there's a better opportunity, then probably you should take the risk, because you can always go back to where you were before. As long as you don't burn the bridge, which I hopefully won't. I don't plan on it. But there's no telling how people are going to take your decisions or, stuff like that. So there's a lot of things swirling around in my head, a lot of anxiety, a lot of unknowns. And because of that, I feel like I haven't been making content as much as I have and have been wanting to. But at the same time, I really want to take a step back from the content to focus on making more music, building up the vault. I've been watching a lot of podcasts recently, and I've listened to 2 Russ podcasts. If you don't know who Russ is, he's probably one of the biggest independent artists of our time, and he's a rapper. And I feel like a lot of his insights and understandings about the world and getting success as a musician is pretty valid and relevant, because he's doing it, super successful, and he's pretty articulate. And he reckons dropping every week is probably too much unless your audience is accustomed to it. The sweet spot is between once or twice a month, which is a song a fortnight or a song a month, which means, and he also said that if you have an album, it's always important to have an album on the tuck, because if you blow up and you have no music to drop, you're in a very unstable situation. Like, you want to be ready to capitalize on the moment when it happens. You know what I mean? Like, if tomorrow Better blows up from these business cards or from online or whatever, it just does crazy streaming numbers, some miracle. I want to be able to have music to drop and have, an album in the tuck, so that I can, capture that audience when I have it, or the attention. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's very important, and it's something I don't have, and it wouldn't hurt me to have. It would only mean I have to first, like Russ said, be patient before you can be consistent. So I have to stack up a bunch of tracks, a bunch of singles, and then also have an album. I'm aiming for about, if I have 10 singles and let's say a 10 to 12 track album, which is about 22 songs in total, that's a good place to be sitting at, to be able to, start ascending the mountain or going down the mountain, or just dropping music. Because number one, I'm not going to be scrambling for music every fortnight, every month. I'm going to be able to drop consistently. I'm not going to have an unhealthy attachment to any single song, because I have, a schedule. I know that the next song is going to be coming out the next fortnight. I'm going to be able to stack up content so I can drop it with the music, have an album on the tuck. And then as I make more music, if I have these 22, 24 songs, and I make music that I like more, I can either slot it into the singles release schedule or switch it out of the album, and maybe say I write a song that I like better than a song on the album and I think it should go on there. I switch it out and then drop the one that was going to be on the album as a single. And you just rinse and repeat that. So yeah, that's the plan. I want to make more music And I think I've naturally been going in that direction anyway. I've kind of, here, check this out. Take a look at my calendar. I've been filling on my calendar. 25 is really stacking up. I mean, I guess it's kind of like when you look at it, there's still a little bit of purple. Purple is content and orange is production, mixing, mastering, and yellow is writing. So I did a fair bit of editing last week. It's probably too bright, I'm not sure. There's a fair bit of orange in there as well. Unfortunately, not all the orange is my own music. That does include work I do for the studio. But there's also, that's this week, some stuff I got planned. And then also, stuff I'm working on. So, I've got a bunch of stuff in unfinished. And I think it's going to be important for me to kind of figure out what songs I've got, what songs I like, and what songs I want to finish. So it's funny, I watched a YouTube video at work today, learning a little bit about Google Sheets so I can improve my track tracker. So I've got 2 Google Sheets right now. I have one that's my content schedule, and that's just where I'm going to plan out what videos I'm going to post on what day based on what I've got going on. And then I've also got like screenshots of each of my hard drives for all my footage, so I know where it all is, and I can, if I want to edit footage for this track, I know it's on this hard drive. It just saves time, you know what I mean? So I've got a content planner and like footage archive sheet. And then I've also got a track tracker where, I have each of the stages: writing, recording, production, mixing, mastering, arrangement, even up to distribution, to streaming. I should probably put like content as a step in there as well. But I have each stage all the way up until release. And then it goes down of each of the unfinished songs that I've got. And then, it just displays what stage everything is at. And everything's still like all the unfinished tracks for the most part are like either needs a bit of production work or it needs work on the writing. So, once I go through, I've also got notes like for each of the tracks that when I listen to them and I have ideas of what to do next, what steps to take to improve the song, I just, add it to the notes for that song. So, when I upgrade that sheet and it's really clear to me which songs that I like and I really want to work on as a priority, because I think I have like, I don't even know how many tracks I've got. Hang on. I could probably bring it up on my phone. I have heaps of unfinished stuff. Here it is. Let me zoom out so you can kind of see. So most of those are mine. And yellow means 1 or 2 things need work. Orange means just 1 thing needs work. And then I kind of just tick the boxes as I complete them. What was I saying? I completely forgot what I was saying. I don't know. As I can like upgrade this so it's a lot easier to figure out and sort and filter the tracks that need, maybe I feel like producing something, so I would filter for all the tracks that need production work. Maybe I feel like writing, maybe I just need to record something that I've already written, you know what I mean? I can filter and then prioritize from that, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I have a lot of unfinished stuff. And when I mean unfinished stuff, I mean like it needs work and I either don't know what to do to push it forward, which means I kind of put it in a discard pile. I never really like deleting stuff just in case, you know what I mean? You never know when you want to go back and listen to something and you hear something about a certain track that you might not have heard when you first made it. So I don't like to delete stuff, but that also means that the list gets incredibly long of stuff that, I've started but didn't finish. So I've got to prioritize then what stuff that needs work and that I want to work on versus needs work and that I don't really know what to do with or I don't want to work on. You know what I mean? It just isn't going in the direction that I'm inspired to, or, you know, just even understand. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. What else is there? Let me get a drink. So yeah, if I get this job, or if I decide to take it, if I get this job, decide to take it, let's play it out, right? Let's say I get this job. And then let's say everything goes to plan, which it never does, but let's just say it does. I start earning 50 to 100% more than what I'm making at this current job, with a combination of some social media work and some sales. I either move this studio to somewhere closer to North Sydney, or I start, because I leave my laptop here, because, you know, I come here straight after work. This is only 15 minutes from where I currently work at rush hour, straight after work, you know, when everyone's driving home. And it works really well. But if I was to work in North Sydney, number one, I ain't driving, you know what I mean? I would have to take the bus, because that would be the fastest, most efficient, most mode of transport that would make sense. And I can't take, you know, I'm not going to take my recording stuff unless, I mean, I probably could if I really wanted to, but I might as well just wait until, I don't know, maybe I designate one day during the week to record, and then, you know, the other stuff can land on the weekends. But let's say I start earning plenty of money, and then I learn the sales skills, and I feel confident that if I save, I don't know how much, 10, 20, 30 grand, and then I quit and I go full time on the studio, start getting recording clients, start doing more production, more mixing, more mastering, and like really operating this as a business as my full-time thing. Will that make me happy? I mean, maybe. Recording is definitely not my passion. Production is my favorite part of the process, I would say. And I really like being an artist, whether it be writing or performing. So if I could engineer my life, I would get paid to do production sessions, make beats. And I think obviously that comes with recording, and I'm happy to do that as long as it comes with production, I think. More often than not. And then also, you know, I think eventually, I mean, running a studio makes the most sense, right? Because it's a lot easier to trade, hey, I make a beat for you, you pay me this amount, and I can live on that. Whereas if I'm an artist full time, I have to convince a bunch of strangers online to listen to my music on a streaming platform that pays almost nothing per stream. And like, there's many different ways that, you know, you can connect with people in a way that makes them want to stream your music. Number one, you have to have really good music. I mean, you have to have really good music no matter what route you take, I think. Really good subjective, but there is also objective good, or objective meaning it is believed by the majority to be of a certain standard. And oftentimes that means deluding yourself and doing stuff that you're not necessarily as passionate about, which is not what really I want to do, you know what I mean? But there is always that trade-off. And if I'm going to trade my potential happiness for doing something that I'm not necessarily thrilled about to, you make a living. How is that really any different from where I'm at right now? And to be honest, to be brutally, truthfully honest, I'm happy with where I'm at right now. I feel like my routine works. I work close to the studio. I'm covering all my bills. I'm not rich by any means, but I'm optimizing for time in the studio, and it's really working right now. And I feel like potentially this job and the potential for earning a lot more money for the sake of quitting and potentially going full time, assuming I learn the skills to do that, it could work, but I'm not sure if I'll be happy when I get there. Whereas I'm happy now where I am. And especially if I keep going down this road, I can see it eventually becoming a full-time thing, as an artist. And then I can just continue to do what I'm doing, except I get to do it more because it'll be paying my bills and I can do it full-time. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You can't read into the future. Maybe I'll really love it, but there's always that fear of making a decision and then regretting it. You know what I mean? Oh, it's hard, man. This adulting stuff is hard work. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of fear. But, there's no harm in giving it a go. I'll play it by ear. I have faith that what is meant to happen will happen. You know what I mean? There's some force in the universe, whether it's my own intuition, whether you want to call it God or the universe or whatever, there's some thing that has a good intention that things will work out regardless. So if I just have faith in that and just make the right decision, the best decision that I think that I can with the information that I have at the time, then, just ride the wave. But yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of forces pulling me in different directions right now. I need to get rid of my old car. I don't really mind how that happens. If it's just off my plate, I'll be happy. I need to take the new car to the mechanic just to get a couple of things checked out. It's got a bit of a rattle in the front of the suspension. I don't think it's anything serious. And I think the speakers on one side are blown, or the connection from the aftermarket head unit is a bit faulty or whatever it is. I'll have to get that checked out. I don't think that'd be a really big deal either, even if I just could put new speakers in it. What else? Might have to service it. I probably will at 150,000 anyway. It's got 148,000 Ks. But yeah. Things as it sits right now, and I feel like as it always sits for the most part, there are always moments of tragedy and things going wrong. But if you just take a deep breath, things are fucking sweet right now. You know what I mean? I've got everything that I need. I've got everything that I want. There's no, I was going to say there's no impending doom, but anything could happen at any moment. You just got to not get so caught up in your head in what could possibly go so wrong. You know what I mean? Because that's where you miss. It's not only where you miss opportunities, but you just miss out on enjoying the moment. You know what I mean? But yeah, I felt really stressed out. I pretty much emptied all my accounts to buy this new car in cash, which I feel like, in an ideal situation, I wouldn't have to do that. But I don't think it was a bad decision. I think it was a pretty good decision. I don't know what it is, man. I feel kind of sad just right now. Maybe I'm just mourning some of the peace that I had before this current wave of shitstorm kind of ensued. This car thing has been a massive stressor on, my mental state recently. So once I get the new car checked, the old car disposed of, that'll be a pretty big weight off. Once I decide whether I'm staying where I am or I'm changing my job, that'll be a pretty big weight off. If I decide to change, that'll probably extend out the stress period a little bit further, because I'll have to decide what I'm doing with the studio and, if that's all going to work out. But yeah, man, that's just the life you choose when you're trying to do something new, something that most people don't do, And at the same time, I feel like I'm not posting content when I should be. And when I say that, it kind of does my head in, right? Because I know I should be posting content, even if I don't have anything out. But if I don't have anything out, I'm just talking about stuff like this. And I feel like, man, I don't know, if I post this on my Instagram, even if it's just me talking into my phone, it's going to turn people off me, as opposed to if I only posted when I had music and something to say surrounding that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of insecurity or just false belief that if my thoughts aren't attached to anything bigger than me, or me at my core and who I am, just doesn't have that much value. And I know, whoever you would say that to, whether you even said it to a stranger on the street, or if I said that to Kira, she'd be like, no, you're so valuable. And if someone said that to me, I would say the same thing. But it's it's so weird. I guess it's just social media, man. And I am going to sound like the person I despise the most, but the way, or not despise the most, but whenever people say this, I kind of there's some level of it that is an excuse, right? The way social media is set up, it's set up in a specific way. And okay, maybe I can say it like this. It's set up in a way where it engages the viewer out of fear or degeneracy. And it's very difficult for me, maybe I just haven't done it properly. I don't know what I'm saying, man. I just feel like if it's just me and I'm just talking about what I'm thinking, no one really cares. And I'm doing this, but I don't expect anyone to watch this. In fact, I'll almost be embarrassed if they do, I'm doing this more for me than for anything else. And yeah. I don't know what else there is to say, honestly. Every time I go silent, I think you can't go silent. People are going to click off. But why would I think that if I don't want people to see this and people aren't going to see this? And it's just for me. If it was just me, I would just fast forward, skip 5-10 seconds. I don't know, man. Oh, Classic overthinking, man. Classic over drama. I should be doing something else. I don't know. The shoulds, man, they fucking do my head in sometimes. It's 7:37 right now. I've been getting into the habit of, I'm not getting into the habit. I promise myself, or I have this oath that, you know, I spend, from the time I finish work, I drive straight here, and, you know, I come to the studio after work pretty much no matter what, unless, you know, I've been looking for a car recently. If I have to go look at a car, I hadn't come to the studio, but if there's no other pressing reason, I just come straight to the studio and I try my best to work until 9 p.m. and then I leave. At least. And like, that's a pretty good habit of mine. And I think like if I can keep that up over a sustained period of time, like it's inevitable, bro. It's going to happen. It has to. But like, I'm just making all of it up. You know what I mean? I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if I can make it work, you know? Because it's so fucked. Everywhere you look, right? Everywhere you look. Everyone's succeeding on social media. And I guess I just have to fucking stop looking on social media as much. Maybe that's what's doing my head in a lot. But I almost have to bear the pain of the monotony of my job. At least that's what I tell myself. I'm using social media and YouTube. In the beginning, I was using it to medicate boredom. But right now, I'm using it to medicate anxiety for some of the things that are going on in my life. Because, like, I tried to write. And I did write, like, I don't know how many bars, like 16. Just per bars, you know what I mean? They're cool, but I didn't feel good writing them. Let me spit them right now. Open the YouTube beat. Let's see if I can even remember it. I like this beat. Shout out NB Collective on YouTube. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be super loud or if you can hear me properly over the beat, but here we go. I feel so sick up in my stomach, I can't even concentrate. Is it the conflict in my life? I can't believe the time I waste. I'll hit a path through weight, then just stumble and double bogey. Get caught up in opinions of those who don't even know me. But if I really face the facts, I know I'll never take it back. I really stand on business. I know my plan won't crack. Stand on business, I know my plan won't crack. Me, man. I'm over it, this selfish shit. I think it's time I switch the scene. Flip the camera around, show my POV. Please. Switch it up. Now I'm freestyling. I can't really freestyle, but I'ma try anyway. This life is what you make it. None of this rhymes. I don't know why, but I try to make it really hard to make it all make sense in my mind. Is this just a waste of time? I don't know. That was kind of therapeutic though. And I might puke on my throat because I feel sick to my stomach. Yeah. So much judgment up in my thoughts. I'm not as good as him, as good as her. Why has she got that and he got that? Why don't I have everything that I ever wanted, man? That doesn't make sense. Because I do. I have so much. Just look around. I have everything I could want and more. But I still want more. Fade to black. See, I feel a little bit better now from that. What the fuck, man? Oh, man. Sorry. I just kicked you. I feel like venting more, but I feel like that's just dragging it out. And I fear stopping because I might have more to say. And also, like, if I stop this, then I have to go and do something else. And I don't feel like doing anything else. So I'm just going to sit here. I feel like eating, but I don't want to spend more money because I have to pay back all the money that I borrowed to buy this new car. And I wouldn't have to do that if I had a job that paid me more. But if I had a job that paid me more, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. You see how fucked in my mind this is? It's not fucked. Sorry. It's just stressful. I stress myself out. I'm going to stand up because that's just what I feel like. You know, as I was doing that, I thought like, I forget exactly what I just said, but the thought came to my mind of like the advice that I would give myself now is the same advice that I would give to the old me, right? Because like people say like, or on podcasts that I listen to, a pretty big question is like, what's the advice you would give to people just starting out, or the people who are following up behind you, or are trying to start this new thing? And it's always like, well, so often it's like, just keep doing you, man, you know? You're doing all the right things. You'll get there. You'll make it. Just stay doing what you're doing. Work hard and you'll get there. But it's so hard to know that in the moment, you know? Like, how can you tell yourself that when you yourself haven't been in that position in the future, but at the same time you have, because you have the perspective to tell your past self that, or someone else that who is potentially going through something that you've already been through? It's like some parallelogram, parallel universe, parallax, mind-boggling shiznit, you know what I'm saying? See, like, if I had free will, I mean, I do, but like, I mean, if I was just to do what I felt like doing right now, this is what I would do. Okay. I would stop this. I would go eat Guzman across the road. Maybe I would come back. Maybe I would make a beat. Maybe I would record another video of me just yapping. Maybe I would go for a drive. Go for a sauna. Have a little cry. Go home to Kira and like watch a show and just hang out, you know what I mean? But do you ever feel like no matter what decision you make, it's always going to be the wrong one? But looking back, you wouldn't change a single decision because you know every single one you made led you to where you are now. And there's nothing you would do to change that. How does that make sense? That was a bar right there. That was some pretty sick shit if I do say so myself. Let's do a studio tour. I don't know if this is going to work right now, but and I'm also kind of stuck to this mic for good audio. Anyway, I'm going to cut to this audio right now. Ready? Boom! What's up? This is Flow Straight. I want to do this because, you know, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, and I definitely won't be here forever. So this is just like a for now type thing. Welcome to Flow State Studio V2. Right? What's the date today? It's currently 7:47, 18th of June, on a Wednesday. I just finished work. And, all right, this is a studio. Green door. This is where you come in. This is the outside world. Do you want to peep? There's some people yapping down the hall. So exciting. I've got a little mini fridge. I don't think there's anything in there. There's a Monster. I can't remember who bought that. There's some chewing gum. And then there's some cartridges of milk. There's no bottles of water in there. I should restock that. My keys. A couple plants. This has fallen over, but he's still green and happy. I think it's just because, you know, the window's over there and that's where the light is. And apparently fiddles don't like to be moved, so I'm just going to let him chill. Maybe he needs like a stake to stand up, but it is what it is. These are my headphones. Bose Quiet Comfort 2s. The ear cups are pretty flat. But they still work, so I still use them. This is a little Gorilla Grip tripod that I use for this camera that I'm holding right now. I don't use it heaps because I usually just have it on a tripod. Speaking of tripods, while we're here, this is a XCD tripod. It's like a $60, $70 one from JB Hi-Fi. Simple, gets the job done. I've got these pink smelly candles that I don't want to burn because, I mean, I bought them because I thought, you know, having something that smelled good would be good, but I don't think it's actually really healthy for you. I think you inhale a bunch of plastic and unhealthy stuff, so I don't know if I'll ever burn them. I got, oh, we'll get around there. We'll get around there and I'll talk about that soon. I've got some water. We bought that camping and, you know, I think drinking clean water is super important. And not out of plastic if you can help it. There's a aluminium foil bag in there. This is pretty much empty. I should probably throw it out, but there's that. I've got these old Big Stepper cards. This was honestly the first time we did cards that you can scan the QR code. You just hand this to someone. Hey, listen to our song. Big Stepper, dripping in the leather. This is a Polaroid of me in my busking gear. Shout out Hayes Photography. They helped me out. We got a kettle, light, little cabinet, the Wi-Fi down there. This is my bag. A Caribbean Traveler 40. Honestly, one of the best bags I've ever had. Kira bought it for me. It's really good. It's big enough to fit my laptop and my MPC in there, and it also fits my drink bottle in that little side pocket there. Ideal. Got a bunch of stuff in there. I don't know, it's just got a bunch of little compartments perfectly sized for the stuff that I need. Put my MPC in there, a couple of XLR cables so I can go busking. These panels I built myself out of, you know, a timber frame that I screwed together, like just cheap pine timber from Bunnings, and then an old foam mattress as the padding in there, and then this is just some cheap fabric. That's disgusting, that was a booger. That I just, you know, put around the outside and like nailed it or screwed in the back. These are just some fake vines, give it a bit of vibe. I've got them on the roof as well. That's pretty cool. I don't actually know if they do fuck all to anything at all, but it makes it look like a studio, and honestly in the music business a lot of this shit is just aesthetic. None of it's real. Moving on, this couch, it's got a little depressed bit in this side, like it's a bit shit, but it gets the job done. It's got a little bit of storage underneath, which is good. I got a bunch of stuff under there, including the vacuum cleaner. The vacuum cleaner is cool. It's like an Azedo, like you plug those dual batteries into it. Gets the job done. Is this cable long enough to go over here? Not really, but you can see it from here. I've got this Istanbul 7 orb lamp. I think it's really sick. I actually really like it. I spent $450 something on it. Totally unnecessary, but you know, I felt like I needed, it's like the first big thing that I bought when I like moved into this studio. It was like a really nice space and I really wanted to pimp it out, so that's what I got. It's supposed to be one color for each of the chakras, you know, kind of flow state studio vibes, you know what I mean? Little table there, dead plant, The Alchemist, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin there for some good juju vibes. Got a book. People can draw in. Shout out verse. Some markers over there. Notepad if people want to write. We've got an air conditioner. This floor pillow is really sick actually. I bought that, I think it was the same day as this lamp. And I use this pillow heaps actually because this chair, my mum got me this chair. It's a artist, I think it's like an Officeworks chair. And plus sitting down just isn't good for you a lot of the time. Like you want to sit or stand as much as possible. I kneel on this pillow. Number one, because it's just really comfortable and, you know, sitting down can be painful sometimes. You're probably not going to see anything out here, although you've seen it probably a million times. Holy moly, the sun is actually bleached. See, it's supposed to be pink. The color out of these candles, that's crazy. This is the oil, I don't know what they're called, diffuser things. It's got the reeds in it, but it was too potent, man. I think it was putting me off. Just some, honestly, I think they're probably fucking Kmart curtains or something. These cheap guitars that I never really use. Another lamp. A couple of my old journals. One of the first microphones I ever recorded with. A rock from camping, if you know, you know. Watering can for the plants that I haven't really used. This is a cool rock that Kira found. I just really like the orange. That's super dope. Old clock, because I just wanted to see what the time was in here. Just at a glance. Some flutes that Kira got me. This one is actually in... This is featured in a bunch of tracks. I can't remember. I think it's in Can't Copy, actually. I sampled this flute. This is just another dummy battery for the camera I'm holding. Random cables. Verse gave me that MIDI controller that I don't really use. He gave it to me because he didn't really use it. Camera bag. And then we got two SM7Bs. This one's on like a Rode stand. And then this one, you know, is on a floor stand. Two Audio-Technica headphones. That's an M40X. And these ones are the M50X. There you go, M50X. I've had those ones since the beginning pretty much. Yamaha HS8 monitors. Pretty good monitors. SSL 2 Mark II USB interface. Cloud lifters, of course, because you got to use that for the SM7B microphones. Unless you get the SM7DB, I think they're called. They have inbuilt like cloud lifters. I have the HB Victus laptop recording right now, and I have this LG TV up here for a second display. Usually I mirror these two for sessions and stuff so people can see what I'm doing. And then on this wall, there's just a bunch of foam that was already up here from the lady I'm leasing it off, which I don't think does much acoustically outside of just the looks, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Room tour. Check, mic check. Oh, this table. It's an IKEA table. Pretty cheap one. I think I found, like, it's one of those freebies. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything else I missed? I don't think so. I will say my cover art for All the Things Left Unsaid was originally drawn by my friend Abby. Crazy artist, bro. This is the original drawing she made for me, and I had it realisticified by outlining art. That's it. How sick is that? So that's some real art that hangs up in the studio always. Good vibes. I think we did a pretty good job. This mouse is a SteelSeries Rival 5. I use it because it's got a couple of macros on the side, and I had a SteelSeries mouse before and it was good. Yeah. My phone, Samsung S21 Ultra. The 1x zoom camera doesn't focus. And the camera honestly isn't that good, which is probably why I don't just pull it out and make videos with it more. Especially in low light, this thing sucks, but it has a split screen feature where I can write and play beats at the same time. which is great. I don't know if Apple phones can do that or not, but the camera I'm filming on is a Sony A6400 Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. Specs of my laptop, I mean, Intel Core i7. I think it's got a 1070 equivalent graphics card in it, or 20. I don't know what they are anymore. I built a PC back in the day, and I knew more about it when the 1070s and 1080s were around, but I think we're well past that now. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you are watching, I'm sorry you had to deal with this chaoticness. We're just rolling with the punches as they go, and I'm processing everything as it happens. This is real shit. Yeah. Peace.